What's up guys, it's the Bio Chef here. Today we're going to be doing some practice questions from chapter 34 of myLab and Mastering. Again, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'm going to go through these quickly, so let's get it. So number one, in which of the following animals are the circulatory fluid and interstitial fluid considered to be the same body fluid? This is going to be grasshopper. Pause the video, try to answer these questions on your own. So number two, what is the function of a circulatory system? So the answer for this is going to be, it brings a transport liquid into close contact with all cells in the body. Number 2B, why do the circulatory systems of land vertebrates have separate circuits to the lungs and to the rest of the body? This is because the large decrease in blood pressure as blood moves through the lungs may prevent efficient circulation through the rest of the body. 2C, true or false, the circulatory systems of land-dwelling vertebrates are composed of two pumping circuits, the systemic circulation, which is a lower pressure circuit to the lung, and the pulmonary circulation, which is a higher pressure circuit to the rest of the body. This is going to be false. 2D, what is the function of the left ventricle? This is going to be, it pumps oxygenated blood around the body via the systemic circulation. Alright, 2E, which of the following statements about blood circulation in the body is true? This is going to be, valves prevent the backflow of blood into the atria and ventricles. Alright, 2F, which event occurs first during atrial and ventricular diastole? This is going to be, the atria and ventricles are relaxed and blood flows into the atria. 2G, which event of the cardiac cycle occurs when systolic blood pressure is measured? So this is the ventricles contract, carrying blood into the aorta, and blood flows into the relaxed atria. Let's finally go to 3. Which statement about human blood vessels is correct? This is going to be, pulmonary veins carry oxygen, rich blood to the heart. All these other options are wrong. Alright, let's look at number 4. Blood returning to a mammalian heart in a pulmonary vein drains first into the, it's going to be left atrium. That's the correct answer for this problem. Alright, on to number 5. A human red blood cell is an artery in the left arm and is on its way to deliver oxygen to a cell in the left thumb. To travel from the artery in the left arm to the cell in the left thumb, the red blood cell must pass through one capillary bed. I'll have more information about capillary beds in another video if you want more information about that. Let's look at number 6. A patient with a blood pressure of 120/75, a pulse rate of 40 beats per minute, and a stroke volume of 70 milliliters per beat, and a respiratory rate of 25 breaths per minute will have a cardiac output of 2,800 milliliters a minute. Alright, let's look at 7. Damage to the sinoatrial node in humans would be because of the disruption and rate and timing of cardiac muscle contractions. The other two options are not applicable in this concept. Number 8. The semi-lunar valves of the mammalian heart are able to prevent backflow of blood in the aorta and pulmonary arteries. Number 9. Heart rate will increase in the presence of increased epinephrine. I might have butchered how that's pronounced, but that is the correct answer. The other two are not applicable for this concept. Alright, 10. Valerie is a 55-year-old woman who received an electrocardiogram as part of a routine medical examination. She had the ECG performed both at rest and on running on a treadmill for 5 minutes. How would the ECG graphs differ between these two measurements? So the correct answer here is going to be, the peaks on the exercise ECG graph would be closer together than the peaks on the resting ECG graph because her heart rate is higher during exercise. So this next question is showing a diagram of relative sizes and numbers of blood vessels. Just try to answer these on your own. If you have any questions about these, leave them down in the comments. I'm going to go to the next problem, number 12. So, at what point in the following figure would blood pressure be highest? This is going to be A. Remember, it goes from highest to lowest blood pressure, concentration gradients. Just remember that. Alright, let's look at another question. 13. At what point in the following figure would blood velocity be lowest? This would be at C. 14. Small swollen areas in the neck, groin, and axillary region are associated with increased activity of the immune system. Alright, let's look at number 15. The velocity of blood flow is the lowest at capillaries because the total cross-sectional area of the capillaries is greater than the total cross-sectional area of the arteries or any other part of the circulatory system. 16. Lymphadia is a disorder in which the lymphatic vessels associated with capillary beds are blocked. What will be the long-term effect of lymphadia? This is going to be the accumulation of more fluid in the interstitial areas. Number 17. Large proteins such as albumin remain in capillaries rather than diffusing out, resulting in development of an osmotic pressure difference across capillary walls. 18. Vasoconstriction of blood vessels delivering blood to the gut is a likely response when an individual is stressed and secreting stress hormones. Number 19. The plasma proteins in the human maintain the blood's osmotic pressure. Alright, number 20, just pause this and I'm going to put all the answers up here in a second. If you have any questions about them, leave them down in the comments. 21. The smallest airway through which inspired air passes before gas exchange occurs in the mammalian lungs is the bronchiole. These are present in all mammals. So, 22, which of the following respiratory systems is not closely associated with a blood supply? This is going to be the tracheal system of an insect. 23, if a molecule of CO2 released in the blood in your left toe is exhaled from your nose, it must pass through all the following except the pulmonary vein. 24, how are gases transported in insect bodies? This is going to be in tracheal systems. Remember, if you see insects, just think tracheal system. 25. Air in a testing chamber is specially mixed so that its oxygen content is 20% and its overall air pressure is 500 mmHg. What is the partial pressure of oxygen in this chamber? This is going to be 100 mmHg. If you have questions about that, leave them in the comments. 26. Sponges, syringes, and flatworms lack a specialized gas exchange surface because nearly all of their cells are in direct contact with an external environment. 27. In mammals, most gas exchange between the atmosphere and the pulmonary blood occurs in the alveoli. So remember alveoli in gas exchange. 28. Countercurrent exchange is evident in the flow of water across the gills of a fish and that of blood within those gills. Alright, let's look at 29. Countercurrent exchange in the fish gills help to maximize diffusion. 30. An oil-water mixture works as an insecticidal spray against mosquitoes and other insects because it blocks the openings into tracheal system. Remember, insects, tracheal system. 31. At the summit of a high mountain, the atmospheric pressure of 380 mmHg. If the atmosphere is still composed of 21% oxygen, then the partial pressure of the oxygen at this altitude is 80 mmHg. 32a. Most carbon dioxide is carried from the body tissues to the lungs as bicarbonate ions. They're also carried out as hydrogen, but they're not hydrogen ions. So 32b. By picking up hydrogen ions, hemoglobin prevents the blood from becoming too acidic. That will be the correct answer. Let's look at 32c. In the blood, most of the oxygen that will be used in cellular respiration is carried from the lungs to the body tissues, combined with hemoglobin. Alright, 33a. Inhalation and exhalation move air into and out of the lungs. What happens when you inhale and exhale? So this is going to be the correct answers for this process. Let's look at 33b now. Gas exchange involves the transport of two respiratory gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide. Review how each gas is transported between the atmosphere and the cells of your body by completing this exercise. So these are going to be the correct answers. Again, write that stuff down. Try to get that in your head. Number 34. Osmoregulation and excretion are mechanisms that maintain volume and composition of body fluids. Alright, let's look at 35. Organisms categorized as osmoconformers are most likely going to be marine organisms. Alright, 36. Select the correct statement about osmolarity. Osmolarity measures the moles of solute per liter of solution. So that's basically osmolarity right there. Number 37, the body fluids of an osmoconformer would be blank with a blank environment. This would be isoosmotic with saltwater environment. 38, the fluid with the highest osmolarity. This is going to be seawater in tidal pool. And lastly, 39, how do marine fish perform osmoregulation? This is going to be through drinking water and eating food. So that's going to be all for this video. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.